the opportunity to ask Srila Prabhupada one time what I should do, because by this age I was about 16, and I wanted to know what I was supposed to do. I finished school, and I ran up to Srila Prabhupada at the front of the morning walk, and all the sannyasis were there, and they had previously told me that I had immediately moved into the temple and shave my head, and I didn't know how, if I could do this, but I was at home, and I said, Srila Prabhupada, what should I do? And he turned around and he said to me, always remember Krishna, and never forget Krishna, and your life will be perfect. So that's the mantra from Srila Prabhupada that was indelibly embedded in my heart, and I feel like he is like the master gardener who planted the seed of bhakti in my heart that was so great that it could penetrate into the very darkest realms of my being and lodge there permanently in my life. So I feel very, very blessed that I even saw Srila Prabhupada in this lifetime. And what to speak of. Actually, one time, being the only devotee who went from New Zealand, the only New Zealand devotee who went from Srila Prabhupada and Upendra and Guru Kripa and Paramahamsa Swamis to Fiji. There was a little bit of politics, and the entire temple, under the leadership of our beloved Tusta Krishna, who was with Siddha Swarup at the time, and there was this thing that was going on, and everybody was supposed to go to Fiji with Srila Prabhupada, but then something happened, and I'm not sure what it was. There was some politics between Guru Kripa and another camp, and I found myself having a ticket to go to Fiji, and everybody said they weren't going, so I'm like, I'm going! And I walked into the terminal, and there's Prabhupada sitting with the sannyasis. I came up and paid my obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, and he says, oh, you are coming? I said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, I'm coming. He said, very well, sit there. And he had me sit beside him. And when I traveled on the airplane, he had sent back Mahaprasadam from first class. So I got to stay with Srila Prabhupada and the sannyasis and a wonderful Upendra, God bless his soul, for about 7 days as we laid the foundation stone for the building of the Krishna Kaliya temple, the first temple in Latoka in Fiji. And so I feel blessed in this life that Srila Prabhupada has kept me and not discarded me. I feel blessed in this life then that Srila Prabhupada left such beautiful devotee to deliver the advanced teachings for his disciples and for the future generation in the form of Srila Narayan Maharaj. I feel very blessed that I had actually met Srila Narayan Maharaj and had his shiksha and his service, and also Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I also got to be in his association. And I feel blessed to be in this home, that when I walked into it as a simple living room, this room has become transformed into Braja, into a grove in Vrindavan that is so spectacular that I know that the highest quality of devotee lives here, and I'm so blessed to be in this house. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Shranjit Prabhu?
Well, Krishna Kali, very senior to me.
Actually, I don't know.
He should say something.
I remember a few years ago I was taking the morning walk by myself with Srila Narayan. It was in Hawaii, and it was prior to a festival, and I went over early, and I was staying at Bhaktivedanta to go on a morning walk. We sure went all right, all by myself. And we're walking, and he goes, so, when did you meet Srila Prabhupada? And I told him what it was. I was about 1967. He says, you're very lucky. And I remember saying, yes, and I'm very lucky that he has put me in your association also. Srila Prabhupada, if you talk about Guru Nishta, firm faith in the Guru, that was, you saw that everywhere in the early days of ISKCON when Prabhupada was here. If you see any pictures of Prabhupada on the internet, all the devotees are, you know, in some sort of ecstatic, jubilant consciousness. And I always think of it like Lord Chaitanya going through the Jarasandha forest, where Lord Chaitanya went through the forest chanting Hare Krishna, and he got all the tigers and bears and animals, brought them to full spiritual consciousness, and they were all chanting Haribol and Hare Krishna. And that's kind of what he did with us. Because we had no qualifications, we had no background. All the devotees have been born in basically Western Christian families, eating meat. Most of us have gone through experimenting with LSD and psychedelic drugs. And so he came in and he just pulled us up into an ecstatic Krishna consciousness. And whatever order he gave, the devotees, you know, followed it with firm faith. He would order devotees, go get in a van and go to Chicago and open a temple. No money, no facility. They get in a van, go and endure many hardships. Whatever, just to please Srila Prabhupada. And there was such a fervor of Guru Nishta for Srila Prabhupada that everyone who got in contact with the devotees were just swept up in it. And we all have our very interesting stories of how we met Srila Prabhupada. But I as a very young devotee, I met Upendra. You mentioned Upendra. Prabhupada had come to Seattle and was there for a few days, established a temple, and left his servant Upendra behind. So he was up there all alone. And while I was in Vietnam, I had started chanting Hare Krishna to Prabhupada's record. And then I get out. And of course, as soon as I did that, the Navy let me go through some strange circumstances. Suddenly I'm kicked out. Don't have to serve anymore. I come back to Seattle, and I'm looking for, I don't know, I'm looking for a guru. I'm looking for you know, a yoga studio. You know, I opened up the Yellow Pages, and under yoga there was only one listing. It was the Radha Krishna Temple. And I call up that number, and there's Upendra on the other line. He said, well, we don't really teach yoga in the sense that you would probably think about yoga. We chant. I said, oh, I chant too. He says, what do you chant? Well, I only know one mantra, and that's the Hare Krishna mantra. And he said, you better come over here. And then within a few months, I found myself in front of Srila Prabhupada in L.A. at Rath Yatra. After Rath Yatra, I went to L.A. and I'm all alone in front of Prabhupada, and I'm petrified that he's going to, you know all the verses in the Bhagavad Gita. You know, I was expecting to be grilled. And he was so kind and so humble that he immediately put me at ease. And I immediately knew, you know, by being right in front of him, that I had met my guru, undoubtedly. And that I was very lucky to be in the presence of such a person. You think about the second coming of Christ, I would think that Prabhupada had to be there. We all thought of that Prabhupada would go down in history, and we were very lucky to be able to serve him. Because there was no Krishna consciousness in the West at all. when I got the record with the Hare Krishna mantra and I was in the Navy, I would show it to everybody. Anybody know what this picture is? No one knew. Picture of Krishna. No one knew. So that's how much ignorance there was in the West when Prabhupada came. And he just, by his potency, and Prabhupada was always great at quoting little snippets that, you know, in 2 words encapsulized the whole philosophy. He said, purity is the force. And by his own example, by his own purity, Krishna blessed him to come to the West and establish centers and establish Krishna consciousness in the West, all over the world. And as had been predicted by Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, and manifest in Srila Prabhupada. And you talk about glowing. So I'm there all by myself at my first meeting with him, and I get to go out on a morning walk with him too. In the early days, it was just the Bhaktas that went out on the morning walk. All of the other disciples, they were always getting all kinds of association and interaction all throughout the day. And I'm out on a morning walk in Beverly Hills, right on Sunset Boulevard. There's traffic everywhere. And there's this nice, wide area on the right, on the northern side of Sunset Boulevard, where people can do their morning walks and everything. And I remember, waddling along behind Prabhupada, who was walking very elegantly with his cane, and I kept thinking, he's glowing. He's effulgent. Why isn't all the cars stopping? I remember that was my thought at the time. Prabhupada actually did glow. And everyone around him, he also made glow with ecstatic consciousness. So we're all extremely fortunate that Prabhupada came to the West. That somehow Krishna, inspired him to come. And he'd say, I came to save all the fallen yogis. We all, all of us who had any association, yes, we were very extremely lucky.